Hi everyone, this is Mr Neel Raithatha, also known as the Wax Whisperer. Thank you for joining me in my latest video. I have a patient who attended here with fully blocked earwax in both sides, and we're just commencing in this their right ear. And you can see the entrance of the ear canal is completely shut, it's closed, it's collapsed upon itself. So what I'm having to do is dilate and stretch the ear open, and so I'm using my I'll try to explain it so it gives you a bit of a better perspective. I'm holding the iClearscope. So the iClearscope is our wireless endoscope in my non-dominant hand, which is my left hand, and I'm holding the sucker, so the Zollner suction probe there, in my dominant right hand. And with my right hand, sorry, what I did, I just retracted, so I stretched the patient's ear. So I did that in the case of the right ear by pulling the ear back and up, and that widens and straightens the ear. And once I widen and straighten the ear, I'm then inserting the endoscope into the ear canal, just past those hairs, the hairs at the entrance of the ear canal, and I'm then using the side of the endoscope to stretch the ear to the left to keep it ajar. And that's how we open the ear in the case of the right ear. Once we've stretched that ear open, and I'm then using my dominant hand to very carefully insert the instrument into the ear. And at that stage, I'm actually looking into the ear with my naked eye, and I'm looking at the tip of the endoscope, and that's my reference point. And the idea is to aim for the tip of the endoscope with the sucker. And by doing that, that prevents the sucker from touching the side of the ear canals as you enter the ear canal, because that can be quite uncomfortable. So that's the techniques. If any delegates that are watching and just need a reminder with that, because that is probably the most difficult thing with an endoscope, because there is no speculum. We're having to stretch the ear and keep it open with the endoscope, and it just takes a bit of practice. And once you've mastered it, it's a really great skill to use in your clinic. So the wax here is very wet and soggy. The patient has been using loads of drops. They have been admittedly using the shower head, and I've removed the majority of this wax. There's a bit of damp staining here. We can see it right in against the eardrum here. We're on the anterior recess, and we're just going to be careful. We don't want to traumatise the side of the ear canal, perforate the patient's eardrum. So I'm actually at this stage already quite happy. Now the ear will have to dry up. We can't, when you suction, you don't really, the dampness is still there, unfortunately. So, but the main thing with here is just clearing the ear. It's clear now. You can see there's a bit at the top. I just thought, let me just hover over. And again, I was just approaching the eardrum there, and so the patient could hear back to normal again. So. And although it looks still quite, there's a bit of wet wax still there, but we're happy with that. And so when you're having your ears cleaned, it can be a bit noisy as well. So and this patient was a bit unstable, the elderly patient, so we don't want to prolong a procedure just for the sake of it. So in that case, we're really happy with that. And let's have the patient here. So this is the patient's left ear, and again, this entrance is really, really narrow. And I've put some drops in straight away. And I've managed just to wriggle this wax out to the entrance here, but there is a bit more deeper in the ear, and I'll talk through the technique here to be able to get this. So now I'm pulling the ear to the right and up, and I'm using the right hand side of the endoscope, and I'm stretching the ear to the right. And then whilst it's stretched, I'm looking into the ear, and I'm delicately inserting the sucker over the tip of the endoscope into the ear. And you can see how we can remove that wax very deep in the ear, and even from a very narrow and bendy ear canal. And you can see just how bendy it is now. So this wax, I brought it straight out, but then I'm now having to bend it to the left to get around this quite a prominent second bend. And it was a bit of a struggle, actually. I think to tease this out from the bendy ear, I had to resort to an ear hook and then a Jobson horn. So I'm just getting the hook. There's a few hairs there which didn't make it any easier, made it a bit more tricky. And this is why so these procedures can be tricky in cases like this, especially for someone who's learning the technique. And that's why we've developed the wax scope. So you may have heard me talk about the wax scope, which is our new device that we've developed. And if you want to see some more, see some videos with the wax scope, you can visit my other YouTube channel. The link is in the description. And it's my other YouTube channel, Clearwax, and on there I upload the wax scope procedures. But the wax scope encapsulates as a speculum. So as audiologists, we use speculum. All of us have been trained using a speculum, and a speculum is like a hollow funnel, and we use that to insert it into the ear canal and widen and straighten it. So the wax scope incorporates a speculum. So it's a bit more user-friendly in that respect. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, guys, and it hopefully gave you a bit more perspective and idea of how we hold the instrument and the eye clear scope. I hope you're all keeping well and safe, and remember, be nice and be kind to each other. Thank you. Bye.